I'm Steve Wohlenhaus. This is Anatomy of Success. To be better about staying positive, 7 bad bosses need to be avoided. Let's get started. I'm Steve Wohlenhaus, and this is Anatomy of Success. Glad you joined us. Feel free to join us at aos.academy. That's our new platform we're so proud of, with all sorts of remarkable tools that I'm confident you can benefit from. You can connect with us on social media. All the appropriate links are there. And find my company page, weatherology.com. Grab the free Weatherology mobile app. The research is unequivocal. Horrible bosses are prevalent, and they make work miserable for millions of people around the planet. Gallup research discovered that 60% of government employees were unhappy because of bad bosses. Another study compared bosses to toddlers with too much power, and 70% of the respondents said their boss was an overgrown baby. The descriptions don't end there. Over 60% of people surveyed said their boss was selfish, stubborn, overly demanding. Here's the scary part. Over 65% of people working with a horrible boss don't even quit. In fact, less than 25% do, but only once they secure an alternative. Ironically, 60% of bosses surveyed recognized that they needed some help. Their focus was on results, not working well with other people. Top performers can work with challenging personality types because they manage their emotions so much more effectively. They have high emotional intelligence and vitiate the effects of work-related stress by staying in control and refuse to let complicated people impact their optimism. So, what can we do to finesse around horrible bosses that make life miserable? First, we have to understand who we're dealing with, then appreciate what we can do to nullify their negative effects. So, to be better about staying positive, 7 bad bosses need to be nullified. The dictator. The dictator craves power and control and uses any means necessary to achieve it. People that pander to these types of leaders are rewarded. Anyone who opposes their decisions is going to suffer their retribution. The best way to manage a dictator is to focus on self-awareness and avoid confrontation. Remember, you're busy and got to find something else to focus on. A little patronizing with finesse never hurts. These people need to feel validated constantly, so it's okay to do that. But if you're unhappy long-term, move on. The pest. These people need to be involved in everything and need to authorize every decision. They basically tell you what to do, and it needs to be done their way on top of it. These people obsess over details and drag you into their neurotic behavior. It's impossible to be happy at work with someone hovering over you around the clock. Your defense? Open communication. Aim for productivity, but request flexibility. Common ground is your goal with a pest. Unqualified. These people are incredibly frustrating because their incompetence is so evident and their upward ascent is perplexing. These bosses are obviously way over their head and they cover up their incompetence with bravado and arrogance. We need to embrace humility. Even when it's apparent we are more talented than our boss, share and build a partnership that benefits both parties. It's to our advantage. Pal. Most people want a strong leader, not a best friend. When bosses try too hard to be our buddy, they can make the same mistakes many employees do by getting sucked into gossip and innuendo. These people are notorious for picking favorites and alienating people they don't subscribe to if they're not their buddy. Our best defense, firm boundaries. The answer is always no with these people. Sorry, I can't get drinks after work. My son has a soccer practice. Make a long list of readily available excuses to avoid socializing outside of work. Analytic. Having an analytical mind is a powerful tool in business. However, many overly analytical people lack emotional aptitude. These people perceive employees as numbers. Everyone is evaluated based on performance, and poor performers are dispensable. The only way to adapt to this style of leadership is to play the game. We need to understand we are appreciated only when we deliver results. Jackal. The jackal is uninvolved until there's a crisis, and then they come in and devour everything in their path. They have all the answers and offer unsolicited feedback without any interest in considering alternatives. These people are only present when there's a problem, then they are self-proclaimed experts and know-it-alls. Your best defense is in numbers. Gather your team together and approach these people with reason and empathy together. They often soften under pressure that's delivered with compassion. The ideologue. These people have ideas, innovations, and suggestions that never end. The problem, they're horrible at execution and lack understanding about what's required to get big things done. Real entrepreneurs are visionaries, but they can execute their vision. Most dreamers have good ideas, but can see things only so far. They can't see it to completion. Your best defense, a great operational leader in the organization that understands how to communicate great ideas and weigh their efficacy. Keeping these people focused is the biggest challenge. So here's some bosses that we have to be very trepidatious about. Big egos a lot of times, and well-intended people. They're not bad all the time, but they're just not great leaders. And to be somewhat happy with our work-related responsibilities, if we choose to stay in these organizations, we need to learn how to finesse around these personality types. I'm Steve Wohlenhaus. This is Anatomy of Success. Until next week, let's stay focused, let's stay positive, and let's stay optimistic.